to tell about my opinion about how COVID-19 affect my study at UPN. So my opinion about how COVID-19 affect my study at UPN is learning becomes online based starting from the beginning during orientation until almost toward the end of semester exam. I think online learning makes me difficult to understand the material we taught by the lecture. I think online learning is less effective because many students only pursue grades and are absent, but have little experience in organization. So that's it from me. Thank you.
The COVID-19 pandemic caused learning activities in the campus to be held out online. There are several pros and cons among students who have to carry out online learning, including some students complaining about the given of material online is considered less effective than the offline learning. In online learning, sometimes lecturers do not know for sure whether students are serious about receiving subject matter, and usually students cannot receive the material provided very well by lecturer because they are constrained by the internet network. But with online learning, students can reduce their expense because with online learning, students do not need to rent a fee for boarding house and meet the cost of living outside the city.
Hello, how does COVID-19 affect my study at UPN? So first of all, my learning style is visual auditory, so I will understand the material if I can meet face-to-face and discuss the material with lecturers and friends. But because now our study is still online, it's a little difficult for me to understand the material given. Actually, I'm a little bit worried with my scores are not good enough because I don't really understand the material. And plus, not being focused because of many distractions such as network interruption, feeling lazy, and prioritizing things that are not important. Besides that, usually I will be more active if learning is face-to-face because I became more confident. So I hope the COVID-19 pandemic will be end soon and we can study on the campus face-to-face together. Thank you.
The impact of COVID-19 on my learning while at UPN. I feel that I could not fully understand the material given by the lecture. Some lecturers also only give a 6 months to their students without giving them an understanding first. Besides that, it is also about the internet network. Because my house in a rural area and the network is not stable, it makes me disturbed and cannot follow the learning that is taking place. But there are positive things too. We can study at home without spending a lot of money and still being able to have parents at home.
COVID-19 had a huge impact on my life while studying at UPN Jatim. One of them is that we as students cannot discuss with each other with friends, which is an essential thing in life on campus. This pandemic has also completely changed my lifestyle, where every day I always struggle in front of a laptop. Also, this pandemic has eliminated one of the important lessons, namely about etiquette when studying, because it is very easy to play truant and ignore lectures when taking online lectures.
Hi, my name is Farida. I'm gonna tell you about how does this COVID-19 affect to my study in UPN. First, we know that this pandemic has been going on in almost 2 years, and this year I started my study in college. And as usual, we still study at home, which is so hard to understanding this lesson. And second, this learning at home doesn't make this even easier, but instead causes stress for students because of how complete a lot of assignment on time and changing of lesson time.
COVID-19 had a huge impact on my college. Everything is done online, starting from student orientation, webinar, even all learning is done online. This is both a bad and a good thing for me. For the good thing for me, first, I have a lot of time to explore myself, and I also have a lot of time to do other work. For the bad thing, sometimes it's very difficult for me to understand the material explained by the lecturer.
I will give my opinion on the topic of how COVID-19 affects my studies at UPN. In my opinion, this COVID-19 has had a positive and negative impact on my studies as a student. The positive impact is that the first, I can get the material easily and study it myself at my home as I wish I can while lying down, while eating. What is content is while implementing social distancing and staying at home. Second, I can study both in a closed room and in an open space. Besides that, I can study without the usual time limit set for each course on campus. I can set study hours at will without being pegged to the course schedule. The negative impact, as I always experience, that is wrong time studying online or not taking advantage of online learning. I also found a lot of time learning online, opening Instagram, playing online games. If there is no guidance by an expert, students will not do the learning of them.
Hello, I am Ermina Dwi Ambarwati. How does COVID-19 affect my study at UPN? COVID-19 result in studying from home, so I had to study online and I had to sit in front of a laptop screen every day. It was boring and tiring. I could not discuss with friends directly, so it was not comfortable. Sometimes an installed internet connection causes the explanation to be not smooth and makes me not understand clearly.
Hello guys, the application of online learning, or also known as e-learning, is an alternative solution so that the lecture process can continue in the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. Online learning at UPN has had both positive and negative impacts on me. And the positive impacts is that I can save more expenses because when I study offline, I have to spend quite a lot of money for boarding, buying books, money for daily meals, money for daily transportation. The negative impact for me when attending online lectures is that it is difficult to communication with my friends. It is difficult to concentration with attending lectures via Zoom. And the impact that I often feel is that online lectures are very dependent on the internet. If the network is slow and the signal is difficult, the lecture process will be left behind and disrupted while doing online learning. That's all. Thank you.
COVID-19 has several effects on my study. During home learning, I am striving to study effectively from home. Each course is always held through e-learning, Zoom, Google Meet, and WhatsApp group. Because all of the learning activities are held online, the biggest obstacle for me is the lack of internet access and lagging in electronic devices. Sometimes my eyes feel very tired after online learning because it takes a long time to lick the laptop screen and my energy seems to drain quickly. I also have to create a conducive environment that helps me to focus more on what my lecturer explains to me. Also, I must place my desk as far away from my bed as possible to avoid the temptation to slow back into bed and scroll on my phone. And the most important thing is I always try to stay productive during this studying at home.
This online learning, me personally, there are positive and negative sides for my study. The positive impact, there are many screen-recorded applications that can make it easier for me to record presentation explanation from lectures and can play them back at any time. But lecture through virtual classes are considered not enough, so I can take the initiative to look for other reference to support my material. While the negative impact, I tend to be multitasking, which can break my concentration during learning. For example, while eating and do the housework, and my activities are limited, such as not being able to join student units and commits. That's all my opinion, and we will move on the next student opinion.
Hello, my opinion on how did COVID-19 affect my study at UPN. COVID-19 made my study at UPN be carried out online. Change occurred where I could not do face-to-face learning and was replaced using Zoom, Gmeet, and WhatsApp group. This kind of learning really heavily on a good internet connection to support the learning process. However, often during class, suddenly the signal is lost and the internet connection is lost. So I leave behind the explanation from the lecturer and made me less understand the whole material well. It is very ineffective if applied continuously. However, on the other hand, by implementing online, it is more flexible in terms of time. We don't need to come to campus, so we can save on transportation and housing costs.
Hello, I would like to share my opinion about how does COVID-19 to my study at UPN. Because of COVID-19, university have attended an online learning by Zoom and e-learning. The advantage such as make me more focused because I cannot stand the crowd. Then it can be flexible to read material in everywhere. However, I cannot meet my friends and lecture directly. In addition, the material of study is not enough, so that's make difficult and ineffective for understanding and following the material. The reference of book is too hard to reach because we cannot go to library. And if we looking for the internet, that's not free. So I hope the condition will be okay. Stay healthy, guys.
COVID-19 had a big impact on me in my learning at university. I studied online at the university's website called Ilmu. For me, this website is very helpful for ongoing learning process. Learning like this has positive and negative impacts. The positive impacts is free time that I can use to do other activities such as doing my hobby, or studying on my own. The negative impacts is that I feel more lazy than direct learning. This is what I mean by the big impact. I think in online classes, the teacher will give more assessment than teaching. It makes me more lazy in online learning classes. That's all my opinion. Thank you.
I will have little effect from COVID-19 on student studies at UPN Veteran Jatim. For the first, COVID-19 affects students to do their learning online, and the second, online learning is hindering learning and making it difficult to understand material, and the last, online learning reduces interaction between teacher and student. Perhaps every student is feeling differently, so it is expected that the university will be able to take stock of learning.
Since COVID-19, an learner experienced face-to-face schooling from grade 11 in senior high school to semester 1 in university. COVID-19 has greatly affected my learning at university. The first one consumes a lot of internet quota because we often have to use Google Meet or Zoom Meet. The second is material more difficult to understand. The third, I am not very familiar with my friend. There are so many obstacles that must be faced when studying from home. For example, conditions that are not conducive and the internet network is often disturbed. I hope that this pandemic will end soon and everything will return to normal. Thank you.
How does COVID-19 affect my study at UPN? We know that this pandemic has already changed early March 2020 in Indonesia. We are required to study online, work from home, shopping online, and do whatever online, because we can't go outside. And think about my online study at UPN. It doesn't matter with this because I have used to it. But the problem is, because of this pandemic, I can't actually lecture about more detail of the course. We must study in our own, and that's good enough if the lecturer have to tell people. But how if the lecturer who never tell us which assignment is right or wrong, because we just told to do it and we did it in different ways? And another problem is the data. We must buy big data for our Zoom meeting and obviously for our internet. Yes, we get data plan for our government 15 gigabyte for 1 month. Don't tell if I'm grateful, but this data plan isn't enough for us as the college student, mostly who doesn't have Wi-Fi at home. But I still thank you the government who have been giving it. Maybe only that for me, thank you.
I will tell my opinion about pandemic that is happening all over the world, namely COVID-19. As a student at UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, I also feel the impact of the COVID-19 pandemic. This pandemic requires us to keep our distance. So, learning that is usually done offline now has to be done online at home. An online learning method make me less understanding of the material being explained, and also sometimes an unstable internet connection hinders the learning process.
I think COVID-19 really affect my learning at UPN. Indeed, until now, education is still ongoing. I'm still using the online method, and I think this method is still very less effective because I'm sure there are many students who don't really understand the material that presented. Not because the material that presented is not clear, but because the material that presented by online is really different from the material that presented by face-to-face, where students feel supervised and so the responsibility is very high. And I hope to be able to return to a normal life as before, and I'm sure everyone must hope the same. So therefore, let's take care of our health together by complying with health protocol and reminding each other. Stay safe and stay healthy for everyone. Thank you.
So at first, I started to get used to these online classes, but the longer it happened, I realized that there were so many negative impacts of doing this activity. I mean, when you look at a laptop for a long time, your eyes may feel tired and you will have difficulties to understand what the teacher teaches to us. And this is based on my true story with online classes from high school until now I'm in college. Before, I had absolutely no problem with my vision, and now I have minus in my eyes, and it makes me feel dizzy whenever I stare at laptop for like 1 or 2 hours. So in my opinion, the best way that might be effective and can reduce other negative impacts is the campus should do offline classes in a hybrid way, where students can feel direct learning activities, although not every day, but I'm sure that it will have a good impact on the understanding and habits of the student themselves.
Hi, my name is Budiskita Prayana and give you my opinion about how does COVID-19 affect my study at UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Pandemic COVID-19 come and change began to emerge in the world of education. For example, the beginning of a face-to-face school, interacting with lecturer, friend, turned 180 degree into online school. Meet and greetings only virtual through the application. I think online school can be seen from two sides. The positive side is having a lot of time at home, variety of learning methods, technology exploration, and maybe being able to adapt to change. The negative side is the drop in learning, the lack of material understanding due to the time constraint. Well, that's my opinion of online school. Hopefully, the pandemic will be over soon and we see each other again. See you!
Hello, my name is Iftita, NPM 132, from Accounting Study Program at UPN Veteran Jawa Timur. Yes, of course. Since the pandemic, almost all activities have been carried out online, including my studies. Starting online classes, assignments by lectures, assignment submissions, discussions, and so on. But because there are also many available media like Google Meet, Google Zoom, Google Classroom, e-learning, and many more, so it feels easier and more flexible. In my opinion, it's just that maybe offline is better, because we can communicate with friends or lecturers more comfortably. But after all, we must keep cooperate to prevent the spread of COVID-19. So stay safe and healthy, guys. I hope the pandemic will be subside soon and things will get better. See you!
Hello, COVID-19 affect my studies at college. For me, yes. Students of schools, worthwhile educational institution adopted distant learning to ensure that students were still getting an education. While the world continued to battle COVID-19, many impacts that are given from distant learning, such as uncertain duration, unclear learning schedule, lack of understanding of the material, limited facilities and infrastructure for both lecturers and students, and most importantly, the stability of the internet network, which varies from the region to region. But for now, everyone is trying their best, and I think this method is one way to break the spread of COVID-19. Okay, wherever you are, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay positive.
Oh, hello. COVID-19 affect my studies at college? For me, I think it doesn't really matter for the sure. I mean, COVID-19 is out of 2019, so I guess we are used to it. It was normal, like we used to join a meeting online on Zoom or Google Meet, doing the homework from lecture, but still have to help our parents to clean house. But yeah, sometimes I miss the old situation before COVID-19. I miss spend my time with my friends. Hope I can really meet you all guys in college. So stay safe and stay healthy.
The COVID-19 pandemic is affecting student learning activities. We are studying online from home and connecting with our lecturer through virtual meetings such as Zoom meeting and Google Meet. This adversely affecting our eye health because we are staring at laptop, computer, or smartphone screen for too long. Sometimes when we're gonna ask the lecturer on a virtual meetings, we have some troubles with internet connection, so it can disturb our learning process. However, some lecturers are using e-learning website provided by the campus. I think it's one of the most effective tools for our learning process because we can access the website to download ebook and PowerPoint for each subject, and we can submitting our exam and completing assignments.
I'm Aisha Regina, and now I tell about my opinion on the impact of COVID-19 on my study. In the past year, the COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected my studies. Learning that is usually done face-to-face with direct interaction turns into Zoom or video calls. It is very influential on the material delivered by lecturers to students like me. The erratic signal problem made it difficult for me to understand the content of the material. I think online learning can also make student achievement decline due to the irregularity of the teaching and learning process. Another influence that had an impact on my studies was that group work was not carried out properly, because the fear of COVID-19 was still very large, even though group work can really help the learning process. Thank you.
Hello everyone, this time I will give my opinion about how does COVID-19 affect my study at UPN. Everyone in this world knows that COVID-19 makes everyone's activities become difficult, including us, students who should be on campus to study with friends and lecturers. Especially as new students, we need to adapt to college life. But since 2020, the learning system has been carried out fully online. Of course, it complicates my learning process because communication becomes difficult and complicated. So there are some lecture materials that I don't understand well. Online discussion sometimes don't go well. There are many obstacles, such as bad network, incompatible device, noise, and many unexpected distractions. I hope that COVID-19 will end soon so that lecture can be carried out directly offline. Thank you.
Hello, this is Danang speaking. My NPM is 139. So this is how this pandemic affect my study at UPN. The pandemic makes it difficult to get to know my campus. It also hard to make friends. In addition, I also cannot understand the subject taught perfectly. Moreover, too much staring into gadget screen can be bad for eyes. The learning process is also often hindered by unstable internet networks. That's all from me. Thank you.
In this video, I want to tell you about how does COVID-19 affect my study at UPN. The big problem most visible is when I study at home and absorb the material. I did not meet the lecturer who explained the material, which made it difficult to me for understand. Why it's a big problem for me? Because the material is very important for me, for my future, and I'm scared if I can't graduate on time because I'm late in understanding the material. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ainun Rahmawati Lukito with NPM 141. The COVID-19 pandemic that has lasted for almost 2 years has stopped all face-to-face activities, including lectures. This lecture activity was transferred to internet-based telecommunication media. For me, this has both negative and positive impacts. The negative impacts include the reduced level of my understanding of some materials because the interaction between lecturers and students is less effective. Students' enthusiasm in asking questions during presentation is also reduced. Friendship and socialization between classmates are very low. Then, my eyes and head often hurt because I look at the cell phone or PC screen for too long. However, these online lectures give me plenty of time to review lecture materials and make my own summaries.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone. In this video, I will tell you about how does COVID-19 affect my studies at UPN. Due to the pandemic, UPN campus is closing right now. Because of that, all my classes are held online. For me, this is not something new. My last year of high school is also held online. But it is still not easy for me. There are many cons with online learning, such as sometimes I lose my concentration because of the distraction at my house. On the positive side, online learning has sharpened my skill to study independently. So I learn about myself more. I think to succeed in online learning is to adapt and treat it just like learning in a classroom. That's it for me. Thank you.
Quarantine due to COVID-19 made it difficult for me to get to know my classmates more closely, and it was difficult for me to communicate. Learning that turns online via Zoom or Google Meet often makes it difficult for me to understand the meaning of the word explained by the lecturers. COVID-19 also makes it difficult for me to be active in the college environment. So you can say that COVID-19 is quite disturbing my learning process at UPN, but that should not be a barrier for me to continue to seek knowledge and study. I hope the COVID-19 pandemic will stop soon, so I can start being active again in the college environment and can seek knowledge better.
Hi everyone, so this is how COVID-19 affect my study at UPN. Through this online learning, I've learned to be more responsible and value time. I have to be able to manage my schedule independently so that I don't miss my class. I can also look back at the materials that I've been taught. I just need to download them. This makes learning activities to be more effective and efficient because they can be accessed easily. But on the other hand, I have trouble concentrating on studying due to several things. The learning environment at home creates comfort that tends to make me prefer to relax, and the less conducive atmosphere at home makes it difficult to focus on studying.
This pandemic made me and other students study online without coming to college. This caused a change the way I am discussed with my friends. Other than that, online class has also affected my eye health. It makes my eye dry often and has some red spot on it. But online class has made me more aware to the latest technology. I hope the COVID-19 finishes quickly and study in the class directly as soon as possible. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Safinatul Nazza. My ID number is 210 130 101 47. So here I will share my opinion about how does COVID-19 affect my study at UPN. The COVID-19 pandemic has introduced uncertainty into major aspects of national and global society, including for schools. In my opinion, learning becomes less effective because students cannot communicate directly with the lecturers, so that the subject matter presented is sometimes not well understood. In addition, with being online, many obstacles are faced. One of them is a signal problem, which causes the subject matter delivered by the lecturers sometimes cannot be received in its entirety.
I can say that pandemic had brought some negative impact on my educational life. Every chance and activity to learn and make new experience in university are very small. Furthermore, the pandemic made us get bored easily. Aside from that, we get to realize that working hard is the most crucial thing in our life, no matter what condition it is. I do really hope that the pandemic is going to end very soon, so the world can be normal and stable.
The COVID-19 in Indonesia, all learning activities are online. So my opinion about COVID-19 affecting my study at UPN actually not that much influence. Maybe in online classes, sometimes network problems and blackouts are very annoying. I myself, if I don't understand the material, I can learn from the internet and YouTube. The internet and YouTube really helped me in online classes. Even though some of the material I still didn't understand, even though I had learned from the internet and YouTube. Maybe the most influential is our lack of socializing with our classmates.
Hello, my name is Naila Fadlika Rizky, NPM 150, majoring in accounting. I'm from UPN Veteran Jawa Timur, Surabaya. In the situation of coronavirus in Indonesia, that has an impact on the world of education. The government has closed all educational institutions. Currently, all universities implement online learning. UPN Veteran Jawa Timur has required learning for every student and lecturer. The advantages of doing online learning, one of which is time and place flexibility, potential to reach a global audience, and easy updating of content as well as archivable capabilities. For me, the pandemic situation and the implementation of learning from home does not mean that the quality of learning is neglected. Even though the situation is not normal, we must make good adaptation to this situation. The effectiveness and quality of learning must be maintained. Thank you.
The effects of COVID-19 on learning at the East State Development University is that the learning system has changed to online, which was previously done offline. It is not uncommon for learning to be hybrid-regional constraints which result in less effective learning. However, with an online learning system, students and lecturers can learn anywhere and anytime, with flexible time and place allowing students to learn skill outside of existing courses by participating in various webinars that can improve listening talent.
The existence of COVID-19 affected my learning process in lecture because I had to study remotely, which made me less able to communicate with friends and lecturers. Because communicating via online often also results in misunderstanding. Studying during the COVID-19 period also made me less able to explore the material presented by the lecturers due to problems such as problems with network. But I also thank the campus for providing free quota assistance every month. It really helped me.
The COVID-19 pandemic has greatly affected my learning activities at UPN. The students are required to study from home online through various communication media such as Google Meet and etc. Of course, this has a negative impact as well as positive for us. Unstable internet network makes it difficult for us to get intensive material, plus if the device that we use has problems. In addition, because we are required to study at home, we cannot fully enjoy all the facilities provided surrounded by the campus and I couldn't meet and get to know new friends in person. However, the COVID-19 pandemic is not entirely negative. There are also positive things that we can get, such as we have more time for family. We can also explore our potential and develop it through positive activities. Therefore, always grateful for the current situation and always pray that this COVID-19 pandemic will be end soon. Stay safe and stay healthy.